Hi, it's Dr. Yannick. It's Kelly from Wellness Outside the Box. And I am outside today to do a yoga practice with you to work on adjusting to change. I don't know about you, but it seems like just when I get into some level of new normalcy or a new idea of how things are going to be, things then change. First, it was adjusting to going into quarantine or lockdown or stay at home orders and kind of adjusting to being home, not being able to go to the places I'm used to going to, and all activities and appointments ceasing. So I had a lot of time to figure out new things, and it was an adjustment. And now I have noticed that as the stay at home orders are lifting and we're going into different phases of being able to go out and about in the world, my calendar is starting to fill up and appointments are starting to come back and get made. And I don't know about you, but there are times where I seem to forget what day of the week it is. So just this week, I missed a dentist appointment on Monday after multiple reminders. Today, I thought I was going somewhere this afternoon, and it's apparently tomorrow. So I'm kind of I was feeling a little bit out of control this morning with not knowing what day of the week it was and where I was supposed to be. And I gave it some thought, and I'm realizing it's because now we are shifting into another large period of change. So I decided to take this afternoon and work on some grounding, some balancing, some things to help myself feel a little bit more grounded and stable, as well as within that balance to help myself realize that change is okay and I can be okay with change and make those adjustments as needed. So I hope you enjoy and take part in this yoga practice this afternoon. We're going to hold some of the poses a little bit longer. It's really important to kind of check in with your body and notice where the changes are occurring, even when they're slight, because we're always changing. So it's good to kind of check in with that. So we're going to be doing some breath work. We're going to be doing some movement and just a lot of awareness so that we can take on all these new changes and feel stable and grounded to do that. So enjoy our practice, and I will see you on the mat. So what I want you to do first is get yourself into a nice, comfortable seat. And for you, that might mean putting your legs out in front of you. For me, it's sitting cross-legged. I like to sit on a blanket to kind of help my pelvis tilt forward a little bit. Just again, we want to work on alignment. And the more aligned we are with our bodies and the earth, the more grounded and stable we feel, so that when change occurs, we feel ready to kind of bend and move with those changes and not get knocked down by them. So if you can rest your palms either face down on your knees like this to kind of ground yourself, or you can keep your palms lifted if you want to gain some energy from the earth around you. And I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. You want to notice your body on the ground, on the earth beneath you, on the floor if you're doing this practice inside your home. Notice what's going on around you. Settling in, making any adjustments that you need to feel comfortable. It may mean switching the position of your legs. You want to have your tailbone tucked under a little bit, kind of keeping your pelvis straight, and then you want to align your spine over your pelvis. You want to keep your shoulders down and away from your ears. You want to tuck your chin just a little bit to help line up your neck with your spine and out the top of the crown of your head. You can think of that as like one long stream of energy connecting you from the rooting down at the earth to the lifting of the energy through the crown of your head into the sky. Take a minute to relax your face. I invite you to tune into the sounds around you. I invite you to tune into the feelings or sounds within you. Now I invite you to notice your breath. Just notice how the air feels coming in through your nose, entering your lungs, noticing how it feels in your belly. You may want to put one hand at your heart and one hand on your belly and kind of notice how when you inhale, how part of your chest rises and sometimes your belly rises and falls with your inhales and your exhales. I invite you to focus on your belly. I want you to take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Feel your belly rise. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Resisting that instinct to kind of lift up your shoulders when you take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, feeling your belly fall, sinking back into your body. Now I want you to focus on your chest and your lungs. So I want you to take a nice inhale and feel your chest rise. And I want you to hold and exhale. Let's inhale completely. Exhale completely. Inhaling through your nose. Sigh it out. You can return your arms or your hands to your legs, lightly resting them on your knees or your upper legs. Taking a few rounds of deep breaths and try to hold your inhale at the top. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling slowly. Controlling the breath as it moves out of your body. 2, 3, 4. Inhaling through your nose. Sighing it out. Letting the worries of the day release. Inhaling energy and happiness. Inhaling peace and calm, serenity. Exhaling stress, frustration, anger, aggravation, confusion. And again, taking notice of what you're feeling, what you're hearing, what you're smelling around you. I happen to be in my backyard, so I feel the wind, which you might be hearing through my microphone. You may also hear the birds chirping. I can hear the distant sound of kids playing outside. There's a lawnmower. Faint sounds of traffic in the distance. Notice what you hear. Notice what you feel. Set an intention for your practice today. We're going to bring our hands to heart center. You can keep your eyes closed or again have a slight gaze down. My intention for today is to be okay with change, adapt to change, and know it's okay sometimes to stumble. It's our way of adapting to new ways and growing. So my mantra throughout is going to be, I am okay. Inhaling, exhaling completely. I am okay. Inhaling and exhaling completely. I am okay. So as you return to your senses and kind of blink your eyes open, we're going to move into our tabletop position on our mats. You may want to have a blanket if you have sensitive knees. And so what you need to do for tabletop position is you want to align your knees over your hips and your arms over your wrists. I am going to adjust the screen a little bit so you can see me on my mat a little bit better, I think. I think you were missing my mat, so sorry about that. So if you can see, I have my knees grounded and my arms here, like a nice tabletop. You don't want to be doing too much of either of these. You want to have a nice neutral spine. You want to ground in. And again, if you're outside like I am, the ground might not be as flat as it is in your living room. And just take notice of that. I think when we think about change and feeling stable, a lot of times we're used to solid ground. We're used to our routines. We're used to the things in our lives. So when those change, it can be a little unsettling. So I think the more we practice with things that are a little off balance, the more we can trust ourselves to know we'll be okay. So from our tabletop, we're going to go through a couple rounds of cat-cow. And so what we're going to do is we're going to, for our cow, inhale, dropping our belly, lifting our gaze, and then exhale into cat. Arching your back, tucking your tailbone. Inhale, cow, dropping your belly, lifting your gaze, and we inhale for cat. Exhaling to cow. Do a couple rounds of these with your own breath. You are also welcome while you're doing your cat-cow rotations to kind of move around in your tabletop position. It's a good way to kind of get some hip movements, get some movement in your shoulder joints. You can rock forward and back. You can move side to side. I invite you to kind of check in with your body, see where you feel like you might need some movement, and really just enjoy kind of feeling when you come off of one side and you're resting more on the other, noticing your balance, noticing how that change and adjustment in your position can impact how you feel against the ground. From tabletop, I invite you to take your hands and then face your palms toward each other in front of you. And then again, move her a little bit around in your wrists back and forth. Helps give some movement to your wrists. Helps stretch those out for some poses we'll do later. And then alternately then turning your hands out so that the tips of your fingers are facing the outside edges of your mat. And then rocking gently back and forth. You can also do very gentle arm circles, hip circles from this position as well, getting all the movement in your body. And then you can actually turn your palms facing the back of your mat and gently moving and rocking back and forth. This movement can actually be really helpful if you've been typing all day or having your hands kind of in a different position. This is a stretch we don't often get for our wrists and the top of our hands. So that can feel good for your body. So, and when you're ready, come back to tabletop. And then I want you to take your knees out wide. You can touch your big toes behind you. And I want you to sink back into child's pose. Child's pose is our comfort pose. It's our resting pose. It's our grounding pose. Really let your head and neck sink down into the mat. Arms out in front of you, or if this is too much on your shoulders, you can have your arms to your sides or toward the back of your body, maybe touching the heels or soles of your feet. You want to take a couple nice deep breaths from this. So we're going to inhale and exhale, sinking our hips back towards our feet, really feeling the benefit of this pose. Remembering we can come to this position whenever we feel we need it. throughout our practice or even throughout your day. Sometimes it's great to just take a moment and go into child's pose if you need a break or if you're feeling slightly out of control and you just want to come to this position to refocus and ground yourself. Let's take a couple breaths in this position, taking a nice inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Inviting you to be gentle with your body, gentle with your mind, gentle with your thoughts. Reminding yourself that you will be okay, that you are strong, you are stable. Resting in this pose, feeling the earth beneath you, supporting you, cradling you. And when you're ready, let's lift back up into tabletop. We're going to tuck our feet, our toes, and we're going to come up into our first downward facing dog. So, downward facing dog, you push your chest towards your thighs, looking down between your feet. At this point, I'm going to move my blanket out of the way for now. You want to have your hands nice and spread out in front of you on your mat, reaching the heels of your feet towards the bottom of your mat. That is a goal. It's a destination on your yoga journey. It is not expected you'd be able to do that right at the get-go, especially at the start of a practice. So let's walk our dog, kind of bending, alternating knees, again, stretching your hips as you need them. My little ant friends have joined me out here on the mat. I can't be mad at them. I'm kind of I'm in their turf, so I can't expect them to not be visiting. Ants do yoga too, apparently. So we're gonna stretch into our down dog. You want to have your head nice and heavy, nice neutral neck and spine. Really finding some stillness in this pose. Again, taking a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. And then I want you to look up between your hands and I want you to slowly walk your feet up toward your hands. And maybe toward the top of your mat. I'm going to stay toward the middle so you can see what I'm up to here. And exhale into your forward fold. We're going to inhale into a flat back. You can put your hands on your shins. Nice flat back. Gaze in front of you. And then again, exhale, forward fold. Really letting your arms lay loose, neck heavy. You can even grab your elbows and kind of rock side to side. And this is called our ragdoll pose. Inhaling and then exhaling and feeling even more deeply into our forward fold. You can keep a little bend in your knees if that feels better. It's more important that you're getting your chest to your thighs in your ragdoll pose. Take another nice deep breath in. Exhaling that out. Inhaling flat back. Exhale, fold. And then we're going to slowly rise up to standing. Now, my head has been cut off, so I'm going to adjust the camera again. You can see me. Hello. Just fix that. Just like that. That should be perfect. Okay. So now we're in our standing pose. Nice deep breath in and out. We're going to do a couple shoulder shrugs just to, again, get the stress to kind of come out of our neck and head area. And so what I invite you to do is kind of raise your shoulders up and then roll them back on an exhale. We're going to inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders back. Do that again. Inhale up. And exhale your shoulders back. I'm going to have you arms up. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up, looking up at the sky, giving thanks for this beautiful day. Exhaling, hands to heart center. I invite you to raise your hands to the sky. I want you to take your left hand and grab your right wrist, and we're going to give a little twist to the side. You want to stretch your side body. You want to keep your chest open, remembering to inhale and exhale. Nice stretch, and then back to the top. Gaze up at the sky. Feeling grounded. Take your right hand to your left wrist. We're going to give another nice side body stretch, keeping your chest open. You don't want to do this kind of position. You want to open up, keep your shoulder blades together along your back, stretching that side body. Hands to heart center. On our next inhale, we're going to go into our Utkatasana, which is our chair pose. So we're going to inhale and exhale into our chair pose. We're going to stay here a minute. This is another one of those positions where we want to feel grounded. You want to be able to see your big toes over your knees. You want to have your spine nice and straight, tucking your pelvis, tucking in your core and your belly. Arms out in front of you. If you have any shoulder issues and you want to keep your hands on your hips, you can do that as well. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly rise to tall mountain. And exhale to Tadasana, or mountain pose. Into chair again. You're going to inhale and exhale into chair. Inhaling heart center, and we're going to do a twist to the right. So I'd like you to twist at your waist. You can put your left elbow on your right knee. Gaze can be up at the sky. And we're going to hold for 2, 3, 4. Exhale to heart center. And we're going to take the twist over to our left. Inhale and exhale to the left. Gaze over our left shoulder. If it's in your practice to deepen the twist by opening your arms, you're welcome to do that. For 2, 3, 4, and exhale to heart center. We're going to inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to tall mountain. And exhale, mountain pose. Great job, everybody. I'm already feeling a little bit more grounded and centered. I don't know about you. Just being outside really just helps clear my head. So I hope it is for you as well. We're going to do a couple balance poses. Again, as I mentioned before, when you're trying to work on adapting to change, adapting to new routines, things like that, you can feel a little bit unstable. And so one way to practice that is to incorporate some balance into our yoga practice. So we're going to start by putting our hands on our hips. Again, you want to tip your pelvis, tuck your belly, you want your shoulders down away from your ears. And we're going to take our right leg and we're going to hold it out in front of us. We're going to flex our foot. We're going to just hold that out in front of us. We're going to have the weight in our left foot. We're going to keep that balance. It's more important that you keep your spine and your neck and your pelvis aligned than it is about how high up you reach your foot. Just want you to take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. I want you to bend your knee, and I want you to bring it either to your ankle, your calf, or if you're feeling very tree-like today, you can bring your tree into your inner thigh. You can hold for tree pose. Hands at your hips, hands at heart center. Or when you're ready and you found your drishti, which is your gazing point on something not moving, you can lift your hands up and open your branches. For a little more balanced challenge, you can play around with where you're gazing. If you want to raise your gaze to the sky, you can kind of notice that as you do any one of these little adjustments, how much your body responds. So when you're gazing at something stable, you're better able to balance. As soon as any one of these things changes, the movement in your arms, the change in your gaze, the way you move your head to side, you can see it moves your body off balance. But we always know we can come back to heart center. We can ground ourselves. We can bring our feet back to the earth, and we will be just fine. Just take a minute to kind of shake out your legs. We're going to do that on the other side. What you do on one side, you got to do on the other. So first, again, we're going to put our hands at hips. Kind of, again, checking in with our pelvis, tucking our tailbone. And by that, I mean you just don't want to be like that, you know, you're not sticking it out or making a big deal of that. You're just kind of slightly tucking it in. You want to keep your belly engaged, shoulders down and back. And I want you to just raise your foot. Keep some energy in both legs, flexing the foot in front of you, finding your gazing point or your drishti. Taking nice deep breaths. Feeling the movement, how when you adjust your posture or the wind blows, or if something else in the yard or around your house grabs your attention, how it can kind of knock you off balance a little bit. But what you need to do to bring yourself back to center. And we're going to bend our knee. We're going to put our tree wherever position you want, be it your kickstand at the ankle, on your calf, or on your inner thigh. When you're ready, you can put your hands to heart center. And when you're fully ready for your balance challenge, you can raise your branches up to the sky, playing around with your gaze, seeing how slight movements change your balance and posture, and how your other leg adjusts. And notice how your body adjusts to all those different movements. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Doing a great job. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands to heart center, bring your hip in front, lowering your foot back to the earth, and shaking out those legs. Nice job. This is the adjust your shirt asana, as we call it. Very technical yoga term. So while we're going to continue on our balance posing, we're going to do eagle pose, which is a little more challenging. If you choose to just want to continue to focus on your tree pose, you can certainly do that as well. We are going to put our weight into our left leg, our left foot. And I want you to think too about where your foot is positioned on the earth, kind of spreading out your toes, kind of feeling each toe pressing into the earth, noticing all four corners of your feet and how they're interacting with your mat or the earth below you. And so when you feel stable in your left leg, you're going to take your right knee, bend it, you're going to cross it over your left, bringing your right foot over your left, and we're going to sit back in our eagle. You can keep your hands at heart center, or you can take your left arm under your right, grasping your hands and having eagle arms. See if you can sit back in this pose. Again, focusing on your drishti and on your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing your body's movements, each part of you accommodating for the other, and how we're all so connected to the world around us. Inhale, exhale, unwind your arms, come up to standing, unwind your legs, shake it out, kind of twist our ragdoll arms left and right, kind of shake that out, do a little shaky dance, little yoga hula. And what we must do is the other side. So when you're ready, you're going to shift the weight into your right leg. You're gonna bend the knee a little bit, putting your left leg over your right thigh at the knee. And then you're gonna sit back, sort of like a modified chair pose. And then you're gonna do the opposite with your arms. You're gonna have your right arm under your left, twisting and grabbing your hands here. And then keeping your back straight, sitting back, taking a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. And when you're ready, shake it out. I have some little helpers in the yard who are doing some yoga with me. They are off camera, but definitely distracting me, making me smile, which is what's important. So great job on our balance poses. So we're gonna come back to our mat, do some things lying down so we can feel a little more stable and grounded. So I'm gonna adjust my screen so you can see me better. Cuts my head off though, but that's okay. So again, from standing, we're going to lift our arms up. I invite you again to look and gaze up at the sky or your ceiling or the beautiful space around you for our tall mountain. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now put your hands out into our downward facing dog. Stretching back. When you're ready, we're going to put our knees down into tabletop, and then we're going to lower all the way down to the ground. We're going to set up for Sphinx pose, which again is a good opportunity for our entire bodies to feel connected with the earth. It's a slight back bend, so you want to feel comfortable in this pose. It might feel a little bit of a stretch on your lower back. It should definitely not hurt though. So you want to have your elbows underneath your shoulders, your arms out in front of you, your legs energized and behind you, and you want to have your gaze slightly lifted. I want you to feel what it feels like to have all that contact with the earth below you. Feeling the contact with your hands energized into the ground and how your forearms are connected with the earth. Your elbows, your hips, your thighs and your knees, tops of your feet. Reminding yourself of your intention earlier, feeling grounded, adapting to change, confidence that we're all going to be okay. When you're ready, you can bend your elbows and put your head down on your hands. Give a little release to your back. You can bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs back and forth to release that pressure from that back bend. And we call these windshield wipering. Back and forth. And then lowering your feet back down. You're going to then bring your arms to your sides. We're going to do some locust pose. So keeping your forehead down on the ground. You want to energize your legs. So again, lifting your legs kind of off the ground. Energy in those. You want to be energizing from your upper thighs. And when you're ready on an inhale, lifting up from the chest, reaching back with your hands, remembering to breathe, keeping your shoulders away from your ears, inhaling and exhaling down. You can turn your head to one side. Take a nice deep breath in, sigh it out. When you're ready, we're going to do another one. So you want to bring your head down to neutral at the mat below you, arms at your sides. If it's in your practice to interlace your hands behind your back, I invite you to do that. Again, on an inhale, you're going to energize your legs, lifting at the chest, gaze to the sky, inhaling, lifting that chest, knitting those shoulders back, and exhaling down to the mat, resting your cheek on the other side, releasing, and windshield wipering your legs. On your next inhale, I want you to put your hands alongside your ribs. You're going to push back, lifting into tabletop and back through into child's pose. Exhaling into that pose, pushing your hips back. Sighing it out. Inhaling, we're going to push the earth against us and come up to seated. I'd like you to take a nice easy seat on your mat. Invite you to keep one leg straight out in front of you. Your leg is flexed. Your other knee is bent, and on the inside of your thigh, you want to square your hips toward the front of your foot. You want to raise up your arms, and on an exhale, fold over that foot. If you can reach your toes, great. If you need to stay here, you can. Again, you want to give a nice stretch. When you've reached your edge, you can tip your head forward, tucking your chin, feeling the benefit of the stretch. With each inhale and exhale, seeing if you can get deeper into the pose. Breathing into the pose, not forcing it. Exhaling. On your next inhale, slowly rising up. Straightening out that foot. Bringing your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Again, straightening your hips. Nice shoulders back. Inhaling to the sky and exhaling into your fold. Releasing into your fold when you're ready. Giving a nice stretch. Breathing into the stretch. Feeling it in your hamstrings. You may feel some in your lower back. Very nice. Inhaling, you can rise up. And then with both feet out, you want to kind of pull your meat away from your sit bones. You're really grounded into the earth. You want to have a nice straight flat back. You want to be grounded out in front of your feet. We're going to do the same forward fold and exhaling over our legs. Inhaling, seeing if you can get deeper into your fold. Letting your neck rest heavy. Tucking your chin. Grabbing your big toes. Again, letting the breath, letting the weight of your body, that be what helps settle you into the pose. You don't need to pull yourself into anything or cause any pain. Just allowing yourself to dictate what you're ready for is our focus. Another nice inhale, exhale, and then we're going to come up to seated. Great job. I hope you're feeling well. So what I'd like you to do is scooch down. We're going to lower all the way down to our mats, onto our backs. It's another good opportunity for fix your clothes asana, adjusting your shirts, your pants, things like that. So now that we've changed positions, I do want you to focus on how your body feels against the mat below you. Kind of feel your lower back, feel how your shoulders are pressed into the mat. So your head being rested on the ground. You can either have your legs out in front of you flat, or you can have them bent. You can do bound angle where your knees are falling out to the sides with the soles of your feet touching. Or you can do steeple knee pose where your feet are wide as your mat and your knees are coming together to meet together in the middle, whatever feels best for you. We're going to take a minute here to really just, again, check in with our breath. Breathing in, feeling how our belly rises and falls. Checking in with our body. You notice your heart rate, your breathing patterns, how everything feels around you. Sigh it out. So next what we're going to do is reclined pigeon, which is like a figure 4 type of stretch. It's great for a reclined position stretch. And so you want to have your knees bent. I'm going to start with my right ankle over my left knee. And if that's enough for you in your hips and your quads and everything, you can certainly stay that way, or in your glutes. And you can kind of push your knee away from you. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can pull that leg toward you by reaching through and grabbing the back of your left leg, pulling that toward you, or bending and pulling at the knee. Again, whatever feels right for you. In this position, you can kind of rock back and forth and notice how the stretch increases and decreases based on your positioning. Again, you want to keep your shoulders relaxed. You want to see how that positioning feels in that stretch. I feel it in my glutes. This helps my IT band as well with my running. So this is a great stretch for runners and athletes, really anybody, especially if you're sitting all day. So this can feel good. So take as long as you'd like in this pose, remembering to breathe in and breathe out. And when you're ready, I invite you to lower your feet down, putting your other foot down, and you can windshield wiper with your knees back and forth, settling into stillness in the middle. I invite you to do the other on this other side, putting your left ankle on your right knee and feeling the stretch. You may notice the intensity changes from one side of your body to the other. That is perfectly normal. We tend to use different sides of our bodies based on our handedness or based on our activity level. So it's always interesting to take note of how our bodies are different on one side versus the other. So really taking a minute to check in, notice how it feels, breathing into the stretch, doing whatever feels right for you and your body, as we remind ourselves that we are going to be okay. We are strong. We are courageous. We are awesome. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. You can again wiggle and stretch both legs together. I would like to, before we move into our final resting pose of Shavasana, I would like to give you the opportunity to do an inversion. You can invert into whatever position feels good for you, but I am going to show you waterfall pose. Waterfall is where you lift your legs up. If you have a block, or even if you have your blanket available, what you can do is, I don't have my blocks outside, but if you do have blocks, you can put a block underneath your sacrum, kind of like right at the lower part of your back and where your hips are, and that'll help support you as you lift your legs up. If you have a wall or a piece of furniture available, you can do legs up the wall. Anything that'll help support you to putting your Legs up. You want to keep them flexed, or you can bend them. You can do ankle circles if that feels good. You can see that I am able to keep my feet inverted. And you can keep your arms at rest to your sides. You can keep them out in like a T formation, whatever feels good. Remembering to breathe. Finding stillness in this pose, or you can find movement. Again, whatever you need in your practice. Yoga is very individual. As a teacher, we're here to guide you and give you suggestions, invite you to the practice. But it's up to you and what you want to get out of it and what feels right for your body. Remembering that you're in control. Breathing in, breathing out. Always coming back to the breath. Always coming back to how you're connected to the earth below, your inner strength. I had the joy of being able to lay beneath a tree today. And there's really cool clouds above my head, kind of just gently moving past the sky. An occasional bird flying by. It's absolutely beautiful. In and breathing out. When you're ready, gently lowering your feet back to the earth, removing any props you may have had below you. Keeping your knees bent. We're going to do a couple twists and then finish our practice. So with your knees bent, I want you to kind of lift and adjust your hips to the left side of your mat and lower your knees to the right. You can cross your ankles if that feels good. And then you can put your arms out to the sides and kind of look over your left shoulder, giving a nice twist. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Exhaling as you sink into the mat. Nice twist. On your next inhale, bringing your knees to center, kind of adjusting them off to the right side and lowering your knees to the left. Turning your gaze over your right shoulder, relaxing your body into the ground beneath you. Inhaling in deeply and exhaling completely. That would be my son coming into the backyard. Not realizing I was recording a video, but that's cool. I am outside, so I can't complain. And then bringing your knees to the center, gently lowering them to the mat beneath you. You want to have your legs as wide, even wider than your mat. Having your arms also spread out wide, palms up for our Shavasana. Breathing into your pose. This is our final pose, so make any adjustments into your position that you need. Get a blanket if you feel like you need a blanket or an eye pillow. Pillows to prop up underneath your knees, whatever you need to feel completely relaxed and fully comfortable in Shavasana, our final resting pose. Much like we did at the beginning of our practice, I'd like you to be aware of how your body feels, starting at the top of your head, relaxing the muscles of your forehead, the muscles around your eyes, letting your eyes sink back into their sockets as you relax deeply into the toes. Relaxing your cheeks and your jaw, letting your tongue move away from the roof of your mouth, gently lying in your mouth slightly open as your face becomes fully relaxed. Feeling your shoulders and neck released, sinking into the mat, your arms, your elbows, and your wrists. How do your hands feel on the ground beneath you? Feeling the tension release from your upper back as your spine melts into the ground beneath you. Your lower back gently supporting you while being calm and relaxed. How your hips feel, how your thighs feel, your knees sinking down beneath you, your calves, your ankles, and your feet. Feeling the full benefit of our yoga practice today. Coming back to our breath, noticing the gentle movement of the air as it comes in through your nose and effortlessly comes out with a sigh. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. As you rest into Shavasana. Any thoughts coming into your mind are very normal, but notice them like clouds as they gently drift away, and your only focus is on your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, I invite you to bring some movement back into your body, deepening your breath, finding some gentle movement in your fingers, your toes, wiggling your toes, maybe doing some ankle and wrist circles, bending at your elbows and knees, rolling to one side as we thank ourselves for engaging in this wonderful practice today. We're going to use our hand and push ourselves up to seated. Keeping your eyes closed, your hands at heart center. Appreciating the beautiful practice that you've done today. Remembering that you can adapt to change. You can adjust to new things. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are courageous. And you will be okay. I want to take this time to thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. The light in me truly honors the light in each and one of you. We're going to seal our practice with a bow and namaste. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this. Please visit our website, Wellness Outside the Box. We have some new groups forming right now. We have our mom group and our Stuck in a Funk group. We also have groups forming for our Quest for Teens. Right now, we have our girls group starting in July, and we will be looking to form a boys group if we have enough interest. And we look forward to hearing from you. We have our podcast, Walking the Walk, and our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates, tips. If you're interested in getting our newsletter, please email us at info@wellnessoutsidethebox.com and get on our mailing list. We do send out newsletters monthly to share tips. We can share things on mindfulness. We let you know about upcoming events and activities, and we love to hear suggestions as we continue our journey to help everybody take their wellness outside the box. Have a great afternoon. Namaste.